Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Anaditva Niragunatvat
Anaditva Niragunatvat
Paramatmayam Avyayah
Paramatmayam Avyaya
Sharirosto api Kaunteya
Sarirosto Pikaunteya
Nakaroti Nalipyate.
Nakaroti Nalipyate.
Those with the vision of eternity can see that imperishable soul is transcendental, eternal, and beyond the modes of nature. Despite contact with material body, O Arjuna, the soul neither does anything nor is entangled. Now, this is very interesting. These series of verses we have been contemplating on. Let me go back to the previous verse as well, so that we talk about this context, right? So we are on 32 verse. Krishna is starting from 28. He is actually talking about the quality of super soul and qualities of the soul, right? Krishna is specifically talking about what is a real seer, right? That's what started in text 29, 30. Krishna says that everything we perform is created by material nature. Soul doesn't perform anything. In text 31, we talked about when a sensible man ceases to see different identity due to different material bodies and sees how beings are expanded everywhere, he attains to the Brahman conception. Right now, our situation is that everything in connection to the body is mine, and I cannot see anything beyond the concept of bodily platform. That is why we are struggling in this material world. We are trying to practice bhakti. Nice, the whole idea is to come at the platform of I'm not the body, I'm the soul. When we reach to that platform, then practicing bhakti is very easy, but we are not at that platform. So, what is the importance of jnana? The importance of jnana is it's like a sword. It's like a light within a dark room. Like if you are caught up in a dungeon, no light there, and all of a sudden one light comes in, it feels so good, right? Or nice sunny day outside, it just feels so good.
Yep.
Wonderful. This is like because so cold, being just inside it just feels so good. So that's the quality of knowledge. The knowledge has power if realized correctly, if focused correctly, if applied correctly, can empower us to actually practice at the platform of the soul, which we are not able to do now. But eventually we will do when we practice bhakti with intensity, right? So, text 32, what is this focusing on? It is actually talking about those with the vision of eternity. What is the eternity? Well, on the bodily platform, there is no eternity. Can I say on the bodily platform, this world is going to exist, my relatives are going to exist, my child is going to exist, my wife is going to exist, my husband is going to exist? No, nothing. There is nothing, no eternity, right? Everything is perishable. So, what is this? Krishna is talking about vision of eternity. Krishna is talking about vision of eternity from the spiritual platform perspective. And super soul, or the soul is also part of that spiritual spark. That's why it is eternal. So, one who sees at the platform of the soul, that's what Krishna is talking, can see that imperishable soul is transcendental, right? Like you buy a brand new car, like at least in India, I remember. Like sometimes you go from Pune to some other place. I used to work there. When you would go there, thank you Mamita Mataji for joining in. So you park your bike near the railway station and you come back in the evening, the whole bike is very muddy, right? You've seen, you experience it.
Yeah.
Back in India.
Yeah.
Imagine you keep that bike for months,
God.
right? So it's fully muddy. But is that what the nature of the bike is? No, bike is clean, but it is got mud over everything. So similarly, our consciousness, our soul, which is supposed to be pure in nature, by coming in contact with material nature, it has been contaminated. So, and at the same time, the soul is beyond the three modes of material nature. Very interesting. Whatever happens or whatever we do, it is dependent on three modes of material nature make us work. But who? They don't make it work to the soul, because soul is beyond three modes of material nature. But because now soul has identified itself with the body, is caught up there. Like for an example, if you have a big truck, you start thinking like a truck. You drive truck with that mindset. How do I take a turn? Because I'm driving in the truck. But when you have a very smallest car or a bike, you drive based on that constraint, right? So similarly, when the soul is put into the body, it accepts those constraints, what I can do and what I cannot do. And it can only do those activity which body allows to do that. Right? Right? So it is said, you know what? Elephants, huge elephants, right, who can actually, what to talk about houses, they can actually destroy the whole city, whole forest. But a little child sits on the back of the elephant, and then it's a small stick, he hits the elephant, and the elephant is afraid of, if I don't follow, this guy is going to hit. Now tell me, what is this stick is going to do to the elephant? Nothing. Can he can actually uproot the whole tree altogether. What to talk about this child? Within one fraction of second, he can crush him out. But he has limited his consciousness that now, if I'm not going to follow, this guy is going to hit me. Right? It is said, when elephant, how they are constrained, how they are trained to be constrained, they tie them with the rope to a pole. An elephant think, I cannot get out of it. Arey, what is this rope and what is this anchor where it is attached to? But elephant is trained that to understand, I have a limitations, I have limitation. So similar way, soul, when it is inside the body, though the soul is eternal in nature, it is above the three modes of material nature, but when it is engrossed in the material body or caught in the material body, it starts limiting itself. Right? Despite contact with material body, oh Arjuna, the soul neither does anything nor is entangled. This is very interesting. Right? So this is a very important verse Prabhupada mentions in the purport. A living entity appears to be born because of the birth of the material body, but soul is not born. It is soul is there in unmanifested form, unless the body is acquired. Like we talk about bhoot pret, right? We talk about ghost. What is that? Can you see them? Well, you can't see them because they have a subtle body, they don't have a gross body. So the when we talk about the birth is of a material body, not of the soul. The death is of a material body, not of the soul. Right? But actually, the living entity is eternal. He is not born, and in spite of his being situated in material body, he is transcendental and eternal. Thus, he cannot be destroyed. By nature, he is full of bliss. Bliss means ananda. We try to search for the pleasure in new phones, new house, new facilities, new job, new this, new that, but that lasts only for few seconds, for few days, or maximum few months, right? Maximum days only. He does not engage himself in any material activities. Therefore, the activities performed due to his contact with material body do not entangle him, right? So, however, this is very important. That the soul is eternal nature, but by coming in contact with body, it is limited, and that's how it start constraining them. That's what we talked about in this verse. Any questions or comments, bro? Online, any comments? Okay. Text 33. Yatha sarvagatam sakshmayad
यथा सर्वगतं सौक्ष्मया
मया
aksh akasham nopalipyate
आकाशं
आकाशं नोपलीप्यते
सर्वत्रावस्थितो देहे
सर्वस्त्रावस्तदो
सर्वदेः
तथा मानोपपि लिप्यते.
तदा
तथा मा
तदात्मानोपलिप्यते.
So, the sky, due to its subtle nature, does not mix with anything, although it is all pervading. Similarly, the soul situated in Brahman vision does not mix with body, though situated in that body. Prabhupada explains in purport, the air enters into the water, mud, stool, and whatever else is there. Still, it does not mix with anything. Similarly, the living entity, even though situated in varieties of body, is aloof from them due to his subtle nature. So, we talked about the earth, water, fire, air, and ether. That is the gross aspect of our body. And when we leave our body, that is basically we have what I was just speaking the other day. Bless you. Um, when I remember when my wife was burned, and then after a couple of days I was told to collect the ashes, and I realized what we are is the just bunch of the just bunch of ashes. That's it. You just hold it in your hand. That's all we are. So when this earth, water, fire, air, and ether, when we die, it just becomes like ash, right? That's all we are made of. However, the question is that if we think I'm the body, we are just like the ash tray, right? However, beyond the gross body, there is a subtle body. What is this subtle body? It contains mind, intelligence, ego, and the soul, right? So soul is eternal in nature based on the conditioning we acquire in this material world, that I am this, I am that, I want this, I want that. So when we leave our body, we carry our mind intelligence with us, and based on that we fulfill our desires in the next life. May not be in the human form, it may be in the other form of species, but basically we continue from there. So, therefore, it is impossible to see with this material eyes how the living entity is in contact with this body and how he is out of it after the destruction of body. Mind is the beautiful, very intelligent software program. So when I leave my body from one body to the another body, now the question is, if for an example, my next body is a dog. Does the dog like eat to pasta or pizza? No, it doesn't like that, right? So when I leave the body based on my karma, whatever is my next birth, my soul is trained that way. My intelligence and my mind is trained that way. I will not speak sophisticated language. I will bark, right? Because now I'm in the body of a dog, so I behave like a dog. I don't go to the toilet. I have a place to go out in the field and do it, because now I have acquired the body of a dog. So this is the whole quality of the mind, which is basically telling us after the destiny, no one is sorry. How the living entity is in contact with this body and how he's out of it after destruction of the body, nobody knows. Right? Some people, we see that they remember their past lives. Something happens in their life and they remember something like that happened in their past life, right? But most of the cases, those are few people who have been just given those, you know the benefit, saying that they remember that stuff, but other people, they don't remember. Like for an example, if I was killed by someone and that guy is still alive and I come a birth, take a birth, so my whole life is around how do I kill that person, but that's not how it works, right? So that's where so no one in science can ascertain that where I came from, where will I go. Yes, we know that based on whatever I perform, there is going to be a destiny. But which destiny, where would I go? The concept of karma, which is karma and reaction, right? You can never predict. It's not a plus B is equal to C. You can never predict. If I do A, I will get A. No, right? So that's the whole idea. It's very complicated to understand that piece. Any questions or comments on this verse, bro? Okay, online. Okay, text 34. यथा यथा प्रकाश्यते एकः
यथा प्रकाशयत्येकः
कृष्णं लोकम् इमं रविः
कृष्णं लोकम् इमं
मम
रविः
क्षेत्रं क्षेत्री तथा कृष्णं
क्षेत्रं
तथा कृष्णं
कृष्णं
प्रकाशायति भारत.
प्रकाशाय इति भारत।
O son of Bharata, as the sun alone illuminates all this universe, so does the living entity, one within the body, illuminates the entire body by consciousness. Amazing. Beautiful verse. I'll read the translation again. O son of Bharata, as the sun alone illuminates all the universe, so does the living entity. Living entity is the soul which is within the body, illuminates the entire body with consciousness, chetana. In Hindi, we call it as Chetana. So, because of that consciousness present in our body through the soul, that's why we are able to perform, we are able to realize what I should do and what I shouldn't do. Right? Prabhupada explains in the purport there are various theories regarding consciousness. Here in Bhagavad Gita, the example of sun and the sunshine is given. As the sun is situated in one place but is illuminating the whole universe. So, a small particle of spirit soul, although situated in the heart of the body, is illuminating the whole body by consciousness. A lot of times, hey, how can that happen? Like one place. So, this is beautiful example of the sun. The sun is stable at one place, but with his rays, he is giving the light to every universe and every place. Thus, consciousness is the proof of the presence of the soul, as sunshine or light is the proof of the presence of the sun. When the soul is present in the body, there is consciousness all over the body. I understand he's my son, he's my daughter, he's my husband, she's my wife, and all that stuff. The moment that soul is gone, we cannot recognize anyone. Neither that person recognize anyone who left, right? Or the other person, they want to run away from that person. I just went last Friday to one of the person who left the body, and then I went for 11th day, and I was speaking about it. The same people whom we love the most, they will say, I'm afraid of this person, can you take this person, can you burn him, ऐसे करके, whatever. That's a brutal reality. Same people whom we love the most, they will be the one who will lit the fire. That's the unfortunate situation. But it's like I told that story one time, right? I share that on that day also. A king, he said, was approached by his guru, saying that you should take up spiritual life. The king said, no, maybe later. I want to enjoy my life. So the guru jotted a plan. Anyway, so he said, the king, you find out the most stupid person in the whole city, and then you should appoint him. You should pay him salary and all that stuff. So he told his citizens, he told his minister, you go and find out the most foolish person. Um, and then they went and found one person who was a very most foolish person. And then king appointed him, saying that, oh, you know what, you do this, you just roam around and all that stuff, I'll pay you salary. So he did that. Time passed, and now it's a time for the king to leave the body. He was on his deathbed, and he called upon everyone, his people and all that stuff. So he remembered this murkha, the stupid person. So he called upon. So the murkha came. So Murkha was seeing this king's situation. He said, "What happened?" He said, "I'm sick and all that stuff. I have to die." "Oh, you have to die? Okay, okay. Why don't you do one thing? You must be taking your queen with you, right? Queens with you." He said, "You are truly Murkha. I cannot take my queens with me." "Okay, okay. Oh, you won't take queens, okay. But you have earned so much of money. You should take it with you because you will need it there, right? You have to build the empire and you have to stay there." "Hey, Murkha, I can't even take that." Then he said, "Okay, you know what? At least it must be a tiring journey. You take your horses with you." So king got really angry. He said, "You're truly a murkha. So now I don't want to talk to you anymore. So you can take a retireship, 401k. We'll take care of it. You leave now, and then I just identify another person who will continue that duty." So the murkha, the foolish person, he gave the stick to the hand in the hand of king, and king got really angry. "Why are you giving this stick to me?" "Well, you knew that you cannot carry your wife, you cannot carry your kingdom, you cannot carry any of the activities. You can't even you came empty-handed and you are going empty-handed. Why did you invest your time and energy only on that thing? That I want a best car, I want a best house, I want best job, I want best salary, I want Bank of America account, I want Chase account, I want investment back in India in case I have to go back there. Why did you invest when you already know that you're going to leave the body?" So the question is that unfortunately that king started, oh, this guy is intelligent, and he realized that actually he was a disciple of his guru. His guru jotted down that plan, and king somehow at last minute approached him saying that you guide me. This is our unfortunate situation. We have been working for days, months, years, many lifetimes, working towards this body. We came empty handed, we will go empty handed. But there is so much of work and activities we do just to take care of those things. I have to remind myself as well. So we need to actually remind ourselves we have been doing all this nonsense for many, many births. We are continuing the same nonsense. Prabhupada says, Prahlad Maharaj says, Punaracharanavartam. I just forgot that verse, which is basically, the chewing gum. You chew it, you throw it, and again chew it. There is no rasa in that because you already chewed in the previous lifetimes, and again you are trying to do the same thing, right? Anyway, I don't want to take that example, otherwise it will be just disgusting. So this can be easily understood by an intelligent man. Therefore, consciousness is not a product of combination of matter. It is a symptom of living entity. The consciousness of the living being, although qualitatively one with the supreme consciousness, is not supreme because the consciousness of one particular body does not share that with another body, right? What is my consciousness? I may be speaking whatever, but what is going inside me, only I know, right? Naresh Prabhu, you are sitting here, you cannot know what is going on. Similar way, what is going in your consciousness, I can never get to know about it, right? So that is the difference between a soul and the super soul, because super soul can get to know about other bodies also, what is going on. So I was just walking today, and it was a nice day. So in the morning I thought, okay, I'll go for a walk. And then I was just offering some prayers while walking, and then I was looking at the sky. Krishna, if you are there, you can listen. Then I started talking to myself. "Hey, hold on, why I have to see in the sky? That same Krishna is there within my heart. He's so close to me. He knows what am I thinking. So the super soul actually knows about me, about Naresh Prabhu, about Alka Mataji, Momita Mataji, everything super soul knows. We don't have to hide anything from it. It knows it. So we just have to be truly honest to ourselves whether I'm sincerely practicing or not. I may be hiding in my way, saying that, oh, you know what, I'm chanting 16 ounce, I have so much of love for Krishna. But what is going within mind, I can show off. I can fool other people, but I can never fool Supreme Personality of God. I can never fool my super soul. It knows everything because that is one person who's always with me, whether I'm sleeping, whether I'm alone, wherever I'm, whether I'm home, whether office, whether outside, bathroom, wherever I am, the super soul is everywhere. Knows in and out about what am I thinking, and every thought it knows. So we cannot hide anything from this. I was just hearing this beautiful line which Haldar Maharaj was mentioning about. तुमको लगेगा कि तुम भगवान को बुद्धू बना रहे हो, भगवान को बेवकूफ बना रहे हो, तुम पूरी दुनिया तुम्हें बेवकूफ बनाना तो भी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. बट अगर भगवान ने तुमको, अगर तुम सबको बेवकूफ बनाए, उससे कुछ नहीं होगा, भगवान तुमको बेवकूफ बना देंगे. द पॉइंट इज दैट let's not focus on mocking other people or thinking about, oh, you know what, I'll show off in a way that people think that I'm the greatest person, because ultimately Supreme Lord knows everything within our heart. The consciousness of living entity, although qualitatively one with Supreme, I think we discussed that, but the super soul, which is situated in all bodies as a friend of individual soul, is consciousness of all body. That is the difference between Supreme consciousness and individual consciousness. I think we covered that part. Any questions or comments online? Okay, text 35. Kshetra Kshetra Nyor Evam
क्षेत्र क्षेत्र पुनरेवम्
Antaram Jnana Chakshusha
अन्तरं ज्ञानि चक्षुषा
Bhuta Prakriti Moksham Cha
भूतप्रकृतिमोक्षं च
Ye Viduryanti Te Param.
ये विदुर्यान्ते परम्.
Those sees with the eyes of knowledge, beautiful. The difference between the body and the knower of the body can also understand the process of liberation from bondage and material nature, attain to supreme goal. Very interestingly, I'll tell you, we are at chapter 13, we are at verse 35. So we have crossed over so far 12 chapters, and in 13 chapter we have covered 34 verses. If somebody asks you what is the purpose of life, we know it. What is needed to actually attain that platform, we also know that. Basic. We know that. It's not that we don't have a knowledge where I want to go. See, anytime, like for an example, now kids' vacation will come. You won't start thinking about where would I go on the last day. You already know I want to plan somewhere So you know the goal. And then how I'll land up to that goal, you know the process also. I have to take this airline, I have to go to this website, I have to book the website, I'll go there. And when I land here, I'll take a train from there and all that stuff. You know. Similarly, after coming to Bhagavad Gita classes, we already know the goal. We already know the process. So there is nothing hidden from us. We already know it. Our challenge is that we don't practice it. We don't walk it, right? That's the unfortunate thing. So knowledge is such an important thing. It's like again and again reminding ourselves, this is the goal of my life, this is the goal of my life, this is the goal of my life. That's how we actually reminded ourselves to go towards the goal. Otherwise, we lose track of it. Like I was giving an example about the Google Maps few weeks back, right? So Google Maps says go straight, and then you see something on the right and you take a right turn. Google Map again recalculates, so take a left, go ahead and go straight. Then you come back to the street again. You start. Oh, I missed the route. Okay, let me go ahead. Again, after few days, the goal is missed, right? So again, you God is going, your consciousness going, and again you take a left turn. Hey, you are not supposed to take a left turn. It again re-guides you. It recalculates. Oh, you have to come back to this and go ahead and take a straight turn, right? So our consciousness has to be realigned. Our goal has to be realigned. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Like I remember, when I was practicing this, so our counselor decided we all will get together every Saturday, or at least once a month in Saturday, we will go for Mangalarti. And at that time, there used to be, at least in India, Pune, it used to be 4:30 Aarti. So which means you have to wake up at 3:30 and then get ready by 4:15, so that 15-minute distance traveling and commute and all that stuff. I wasn't so far from temple. And then we would basically go there and we will feel ecstatic. Wow, this experience is so amazing. When we go back home and the next time Saturday comes on Friday, oh, I have to go again tomorrow morning. We had wonderful time previously. Not that, bro, you are just given left and right and then you don't want to go. You had an amazing experience, but when again the Friday comes, oh, I have to do this, right? That's the mind that actually troubles us the part. So the knowledge is again and again reminding that clearer and clearer. So those who sees with the eyes of knowledge the difference between the body and the knower of the body can also understand the process of liberation. We already know. However, we don't practice. So it's a theoretical aspect for us. From body in the material nature attend to the Supreme Lord. The purport of 13th chapter is that the purport of this 13th chapter is that one should know the distinction between the body, the owner of the body, and the super soul. Right? So before we read further, I want to hear from all of you. What is the difference between the body, the owner of the body, which is soul, and super soul? I know we had it multiple times, but I want to hear from each of you. You want to start, Naresh Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. So, you mean the difference between bodies?
Difference between body, soul, and super soul.
So,
Kshetra, Kshetrajna,
Kshetrajna
and the knower of the field. No, Kshetrajna is the knower of the field. Well, super soul is also knower of the field. Anyway, move forward.
so can you tell the difference from
Yes,
the
the body, soul, and super soul.
so body is not eternal, Prabhu.
Wonderful.
And soul is eternal. But soul is just attached to the body, the current body.
Beautiful.
It doesn't know anything about the past and the future. But whereas super soul knows everything, like past, future, even about the other souls too.
Okay, beautiful.
That's the
Okay, thank you. Alka Mataji, you want to add what is the difference between body, soul, and super soul?
Prabhuji, the best example that you just now gave, like air bubble in water. So I think that is like best
Explain me that.
Like air is part, like bubble is part of the air, but his nature is like that, that it is in the water, but it's still like it is air only. So when it will go, then it will mix up with the super soul.
Okay, elaborate on that. What is your understanding on the body's reminding of the same question: what is the difference between body, soul, and super soul? With your example you gave, can you explain me what is body over here, what is soul, and what is super soul here?
Body is like a water, Prabhuji, and the soul is like a bubble, and then bubble and the air in that particular bubble, and then the surrounding is the air where the water is.
So the bubble evaporates. The soul is liquid. So body, soul is mixed with water.
Yes, correct.
So what happens there? So after the body is dead, what happened to the soul? The bubble. What happened to the bubble after the water is gone? Does the water? I am still not able to connect the dots together here.
Ma-
What exactly is the? So you said body is the water, and the bubble is the soul, and then air is the super soul. So what are their properties? What is exactly they represent? They represent is you already mentioned, but how do what is the nature like? Naresh Prabhu mentioned about body is temporary. So water is temporary here.
but the bubble, it is temporary, Prabhuji. Like body is like soul is eternal.
Soul is eternal. With what is soul? You said bubble. So
Yes,
bubble is eternal.
yes.
And then how does the bubble connects with the water? Water is always there, is that right? I'm kind of lost, so I'm just trying to understand that dot together.
Not able to explain properly, Prabhuji, but
I think you got the concept, which is
yeah,
good. Body is temporary.
correct.
Why does the soul thinks I'm also temporary?
Because
Like when soul enters into the soul
Hmm.
thinks,
Why I'm afraid of death? I'm the soul, right? I'm not the body. But then why I'm afraid of
but
soul? Death.
the
because we
essential
don't have
activity
knowledge,
human nature
Prabhuji,
is
that we
once
are
you
having, like
enter into
we
the
are the
body,
part of.
the water and the mud.
Good point. Both the points. Sorry, so knowledge is there that I am not temporary. I'm eternal. Knowledge is there. At least understanding is there.
But the consciousness,
Okay, the consciousness. So the
consciousness is missing.
consciousness is missing. Okay, okay. The challenge is then coming back to both of your point. Wonderful points. Thank you for adding that. Knowledge is there, but it's not realized. Knowledge is there, understanding is there. There is a, let me put it that way, understanding is there, but application is not there. So why I'm afraid of death? Because I'm thinking I'm the body. But hold on, I already know I'm not the body, I'm the soul.
But still,
I know it, right? It's not. We have read so many chapters in Bhagavad Gita talking about I'm not the body, I'm the soul. So I know it. I'm theoretically I know I'm not the body, I'm the soul.
but our consciousness senses.
Correct. So we call ourselves Indians. We know we are very intelligent. Why we are not able to apply this simple thing that I'm not the body, I'm the soul. I understood why I'm not able to apply this. Just one line.
But mind is saying, let's enjoy.
Yes. So mind is material energy, right? Mind is Maya. Mind says, you're not the body, you're not the soul, you're the body. See, this is your wife. He's your child. He was how does the soul have a relationship? No, right? The body has a relationship. Mind is a very amazing preacher. So that means you're the body. No, I'm the soul. No, hold on. Is this car yours? Yeah, this car is mine. But you said you're not the body, right? You're the soul. If your car is this, then your body. No. I'm this. No. You are wrong. No. I'm the soul. Okay. You go to this job? Yes. They pay you salary? Yes. You have a bank account? Yes.
Everything connected body.
You have $1 million in your bank account? Yes. Is that yours? Yes, it's mine. Oh, just now you said it's temporary, right? You're not the body, you're the soul. Right? So then is the money yours? No, that's not soul. But just now you said this is.
Still we are connected.
Hold on. Yeah, I am the body. You understood the whole point? The mind gives you arguments how I am not the body. How I am the body. In spite of having all this theoretical understanding, I'm not able to apply because of the mind. Can I cross over the mind? Yes, with the knowledge, right? But not a theoretical knowledge. Is about practical knowledge. So now the question is, what is the meaning of application of knowledge? right? I have a diabetes. I understood I'm not the body. My mind says I want ice cream. No. You cannot keep saying no, no, no to mind. The mind has to be engaged in Lord's service and be controlled. That's how you do it.
Then,
So,
Prabhuji, in that case, I mean, when we engage, still we have super soul, right, Prabhuji?
yes.
So it will help us, Prabhuji, like
Yes.
when
Yes.
when you're directly.
Yes. Yes. So, coming back to the past, coming back to the analogy of a good dog and bad dog, we have a good dog and bad dog, right? That's a voice of Paramatma, and there is a voice of the mind. Whom we feed the most, that becomes stronger.
For now,
Right?
we are
Like,
feeling-
for an example, I'll give you one example. Today, my parents are here. They came yesterday. I have support system now. I can sleep today. I don't have to cook today. I'm not giving my example that I'm telling you what is my
Yeah.
mind's argument, right? No, I have to wake up. And I had after whatever 1.5 to 2 months, I chanted my rounds in the morning. And that was a bliss. Wow, fantastic, amazing focus, no distraction, smooth rounds were going, and I was so happy. What is the mind's contribution here? No, 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 you shouldn't do. You suppress the mind one time. Tomorrow again, my mind is going to say, not that yesterday you were saying in the class, right? You don't want to, you want to wake up, right? Relax. That's only for the class speaking. You relax at home. Who knows? I can speak whatever it is, but what am I following? Is anyone going to come and see me? Nobody's going to come and see me. What am I doing? Only I know. No, I'll wake up. How now I have a time? How do I utilize my time? Do I go for shopping here and there? Do I do this? It's a beautiful weather, right? I can go out and just have fun. Rather than studying Bhagavad Gita, rather than hearing a wonderful katha, rather than coming to the temple, rather than coming for Srimad Bhagavatam to the temple, attending even on the Zoom. I attended Srimad Bhagavatam class after 1.5 months almost in the morning time, except weekends. Weekends I attend. Amazing. So how am I utilizing the time? That is how I calculate myself whether I'm growing in my spiritual life or not, whether I am endeavoring to go an extra mile. Right? That's how we can take it. Thank you so much. This was very wonderful. Prabhupada explains one should recognize the process of liberation and describes in verses 8 through 12. Then one can go on the spiritual destination. And that becomes the stepping stone for further spiritual realization. Every second I am calculating, is it taking me towards Krishna or away from Krishna? Whatever choice comes, I'm just thinking continuously. A spiritual master, by various instruction, teaches students to get free from the material concept of life. I was just hearing my spiritual master's class about Lord Ram. Amazing. Lord Ram becomes angry when the ocean is not giving the path. Right? Now one may say, oh, even Lord Ram becomes angry. His anger was so powerful, the reptiles and whatever animals were there in the ocean, they were feeling that wrath. When we become angry, does it matter? Or not even half a meter, nobody cares about it. Hell with you, man. I don't care about it. Right? That is Lord Ram. So, hearing, now Ramayana is coming, Lord Ram's appearance day is coming. Reading Ramayana, hearing about Lord Ram, we should not have any time left to actually not hear and read about him, right? One can understand this body is a matter. It can be analyzed with the 24 elements. We covered that part. The body is a gross manifestation. We talked about a bunch of what ashes, and the subtle manifestation is the mind and psychophysical effects. And the symptoms of life are the interaction of these features. We talked about consciousness. It was the example about the air and all that stuff was related to the consciousness, that even if this their air in the bubble, it is about talking about the consciousness, that as long as the consciousness is there, everything is moving, otherwise nothing moves from there. But over the above this, there is a soul, there is also a super soul, and the soul and super soul are two. The material world is working by conjunction of the soul and 24 material elements. One who can see the constitution of whole material manifestation as the combination of soul and material elements, and can also see the situation of super soul, becomes eligible for transfer to the spiritual world. So I congratulate you all today. You finished a chapter 13, which is specifically covering about the body, soul, and super soul, and what is the difference. And you all graduated with this chapter talking about what is the difference. And now, with that, Krishna promises that you are eligible for transfer to the spiritual world if you apply this knowledge in your life. All of us. These things are meant for contemplation and for realization. This is the point. We have to realize that. We know theoretically, we have to realize that. And one should have a complete understanding of this chapter with the help of spiritual master. So we end chapter 13 here. We will be starting with chapter 14, a very, very powerful chapter, three modes of material nature, which is kind of an extension to the previous chapter. Previous chapter talked about Kshetra and Kshetrajna. What is this material nature? Now it will talk about who drives everything. These three modes of amazing chapter because it's very enlivening to understand and break our ego in this world that I am so and so, I have this, I have that, and I have that. We break that faith that I am not the body, I am the soul, and I am being mistreated by three modes of material nature. I don't want to do like that. And there is a desire. After reading the next chapter, you develop a desire. Hey, I'm a puppet. How can I get away with that? I don't want to be a puppet under the hands of three modes of material nature. I want to cross over that. How do I do it? Unless you know what it takes. Like for an example, you go from here to Chicago, right? You go across Ohio. You know, on Ohio, if you speed, you'll get a ticket. You need to know the route, then only you will reach to the destination, right? Without that, you can, like for an example, if I have a fever, I have certain symptoms, and I'm told what to do and what not to do, right? So you follow that and you reach to a cured state, right? Which is in a good state. So similarly, when we are currently covered by three modes of material nature, how these modes work and how I'm a puppet. When I understand that knowledge, now I'm continuously analyzing. So now the mode of Rajo is coming in. Now mode of Sattva is coming in. Am I making sense? Right? So it will be more clear which mode I am in now. Sometimes it is mixed because it's not that I am in mode of goodness. Nobody can say like that. I wouldn't say nobody can. At least none of us can say I'm in mode of goodness because it's morning maybe mode of goodness, and then afternoon maybe Rajo, and then Tamo in the night and all this stuff. That's how it is. So thank you all. Any questions or comments before we end our class today? Manish
So
Prabhu?
just practice for.
Hmm?
I mean, we need
Yes.
to focus on the
Yes. Yes.
We know everything,
This
but
this
practice.
chapter and the next chapter studying is this is a chapter which is giving us the knowledge now how these material elements are working, how this body is working. Above the body now, above the body there is a soul, right? But this body and soul are connected. Now the three modes of material nature are continuously acting. You do this, you do this. Now you go here, now you go here, you have fun. Why you have to go to the spiritual life and all that stuff? So you understand now three modes of material nature, and now every moment you think about what do I do, what I don't do, what I do, what I don't do. That's called as discrimination, right? Like for an example, every morning, if you don't go to work, if I say I'll not go to work, to hell with it, I don't want to, your boss, you're fired, right? So you discriminate what to do and what not to do. 9 a.m. I have to get back to my meeting. I have to join my stand-up because otherwise I'll lose my job. So there is a discrimination there, but discrimination is on the material plane. What will give pleasure to my body? Now that discrimination, we have to come to here. What is the discrimination between matter and spirit? I don't want to touch anything material. I want to focus on my spiritual life. I want to grow. I am temporary in this world. Right? Whatever we heard. Same people who are there, my relatives, are going to burn me to death. So the question is, I'm not saying we should leave them. The idea is I want to focus more on my spiritual life. I have to deliver myself. That's the whole idea. Makes sense? Any questions online? Momita Mataji, you want to add something? Okay, Alka Mataji, you want to add something?
No, Prabhuji. It's a
Okay.
very beautiful class, Prabhuji.
Wonderful. We will continue next week, starting with three modes of material nature. You all are welcome to join here in the temple. We get together upstairs, but in case not, you are welcome to join on the Zoom. Thank you so much. Shila Prabhupada ki
Jai.